Very good. Good evening and welcome to the Norwalk Board of Education Facilities Committee monthly call. Today is Wednesday, May 28th, 2025, and the time is 6:03 p.m. Tonight, joining me are fellow board members Diana Carpio, Colin Hostin, and Ashley Gouliaz. Also joining us is Deputy Superintendent Sandra Fayoes and members of her facilities team. So at this point, I will kick it off and ask for a motion to approve our minutes from last month's meeting, April 30th. Were there any revisions to the minutes, or do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve.
Seconded by?
I'll second, although I think I missed that one.
Thank you, Colin. Great, those minutes are approved as is. And then we will next move into our review and possible action section, where we have some construction updates as well as summer capital project updates. So I will pass the meeting over to Ms. Fayoes.
Thank you, Chair of our Facilities Committee and other members. It's really nice to see you. I do believe that we have some updates, and Alan and Jim are here to provide us with a few that are under their purview. And I don't have a structure for this other than to let you guys either do HVAC first or to do the school construction first. What do you prefer, Alan?
Hi, good evening. Actually, I just got back from vacation just today, so me and Jim
Welcome back.
me and Jim hasn't really talked about how we're going to do this tonight. But I think lack of better word may not be polite, but I'm just going to wing it a little bit. You don't mind.
I do have the slides that Dan usually shares if you want to share it, or
yeah. So if Sandra, if you don't mind, if you
I don't mind at all.
Upload the monthly report on construction. So we have a Norwalk High School as well as South Norwalk School as well, the project listed for HVAC project listed on that monthly update.
Okay, let me share it.
I think I may just start, and then Jim, you can help me out with because I haven't been around a little bit for a week, generally speaking.
Yeah, no problem.
What friends for, right?
Let me know if you're.
Yeah, I see it.
This is the timeline, and then I think I'm allowed.
Yeah, the timeline. So let's start with South Norwalk School. We are continuing to be moving very well with this project. We have committed to the finishing the school. Again, I always say this, and we always a final decision or confirmation usually come in the end of April to make sure the project is ready for. We didn't run into any kind of construction issues or contract issue before that affect the opening date, and we did not. And we're still moving on very well. There's some electrical issue that we encountered, but we found solution to it, and those issues are continuing to holding in terms of making sure that we be open on time. So as you can see on this picture, we actually paving. This is the first base course for the asphalt paving the parking lot. That was last week. I think that was like last Wednesday. So we are continuing moving along very well. If you go there today, you probably see that there's still a lot of radio activity on inside. Certain portion of the building are painted and things. Other portion is still under construction, and we still got a month and a half to basically it's June and July, and we are scheduling to get furniture delivery by late July. Those schedules are being confirmed, so it is moving along very well overall. So everything is still scheduled and kind of like, yeah, I think the elevator usually is one of the last challenges we have because they come last towards the end of the project, and the whole approval by the state elevator division is always a little bit challenging, but that is also on schedule. So again, we are ready to scheduled to receive furniture middle of July to end of July, and we anticipate completion by second week of August. So the teachers are coming in. We also met with the Randall principal at South Norwalk School already, and we're looking to have, I think Sandra, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we're looking to, once they move in and additional classes, we'll have altogether, we'll have 15 classrooms being occupied by August come. The total, I think the school total has about 29 classrooms, so a little more than half the school will be occupied, and then will continue to be filled for the next few years. So I'm not involved in the future kind of thing, but at the same time is that just for general perspective wise, the building, generally speaking, when you open, will be half full. We've been talking to transportation mobility about the intersection improvements and sidewalk access improvement, all that stuff. Although we're not involved in it, we do communicate with them. So they will continue to do those projects, this fall and next spring and things. One advantage we have is that we are not fully occupied in school at this point. So it gives us, reduce the pressure a little bit on regarding occupancy load and people dropping off, parent drop off and pick up that we give us more time to manage those issues in the next 2-3 years kind of thing to fully occupy the school. So overall, I think we're in good shape. Again, I assume that we will be doing an opening ceremony at some point. And I'm not sure we're going to schedule another walkthrough with the facility committee of the Board of Education again. I'm not sure unless you want to, but generally speaking, we scheduled one probably 2 months ago, I think it was roughly. Yeah, and
It's up
again,
to you. It's up to like this committee if you prefer one or not, but you have time to think about it, and
yeah,
I can facilitate that with Alan if you prefer.
yeah. Right now it's kind of a little busy during the daytime because they are pushing and rushing. But towards beginning of July, beginning of August, I think at that point the place is pretty much finished, and we're looking to get a certificate of occupancy, furniture coming in. So in terms of construction activity, it's a little less, and also it's also cleaning and mopping floors and stuff like that. That's what we're going on beginning of August. So I think all is going well, and yeah, if the committees do this, I know it's middle some. Does the committee meet during the summer or not?
I think as needed, right, Sandra?
Yeah, I think it's as
If
needed.
anything comes
I
up.
think we have
Okay.
just because there've been actions that
When
we've
required.
required, but if it's not needed, I think a lot of the committees recess.
Anyway, so again, if for some reason if the committee really excited and want to look at the building, by all means, reach out to us and we'll arrange it for you.
Right.
Other than that, at some point the school will be open, teachers comes in and you'll go through the normal process, and then we have to establish a not groundbreaking, what I'm saying, a grand opening date kind of thing for event. So all's good. You have any questions?
So I did have a question, and it comes actually from a constituent who I was speaking with recently, who said that there's been a lot of questions in the community around what the outside area for the campus kind of affords in terms of like playing fields and playgrounds. I mean, obviously we know that the back of the school has challenges with the grade. I mean, I'm seeming to remember that we do have like stepped up, like with ramps, like there is like a playing field there, and there's at least one playground, maybe two, one for the little ones. But can you just refresh my memory of what the outside grounds are like?
Sure. The overall the property is very steep in terms of grading wise. So the back of the property is probably like don't quote me on this, somewhere between 50 to 70 feet above the. I guess when you tour the building, you probably see the back of the building, back of the property. It's really high up there. So ADA accessibility is we couldn't get ADA compliance accessibility to the top of the property, which is the upper portion. But midway up, we were able to put a drive and access, pedestrian access path up, and you had to do zigzag a little bit in order to get the grading to work out. So we have an open play area, a lawn area. The mid portion is all-purpose field kind of thing. It's size enough for a small soccer field kind of thing, but it's a multi-purpose and whatever we want to use that for. Below it, right behind the school, it's actually two playground. One for little kids, smaller kids. The other one's a regular.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, there's two kids. And recently, as far as the addition to the project, the city went out, they acquired those 5 pieces of property along Oxford Street. We have since demolished the buildings, and we are putting a basketball court on in that area. So there's a paved area for, every school has this, when it's rainy day and stuff like today kind of thing. The ground is west. We always want to provide an area, asphalt paved area, so that the kids can run around instead of running on red grass. And besides the basketball court, there's also some green area in front as well.
Great. Thank you, Alan.
Sure.
And then
Any
I
other
think
questions?
that at least I would love to be able to see the school before it opens at some point in August. Obviously we don't want to interrupt things because it will probably be, coming down to the wire there. But if the team is able to accommodate this committee, I would love to tour it. I think Diana would too.
Yes, I haven't seen it at all, so
Oh,
definitely.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for a small group, 5 or 7 people or 10 people, it's not issue. We should want to do it probably after 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Because the construction crew probably leaves around 2:30 kind of thing. So all you need is one person from the construction team, one of the project managers stay up behind a little bit, and we can do a tour, and it wouldn't they wouldn't get in our way, or we wouldn't
Sure.
get in their way. As they were running around carrying stuff around. So yeah, and anytime if you can give Sandra a day and a couple of dates and potential time would be at 3 o'clock. I think it's ideal.
Thank you.
If you can
That
get
sounds
away
great.
from what you do on a certain day, that would be good.
Perfect.
No, it's very exciting. It is like this project started February and March of last year, so it's been, I would say, about 15, 16 months. It's quite
Yeah,
an accomplishment for the city. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
We're excited. So we'd love to see it.
I know my city, I mean both city and Board of Education. So
Yes.
very good.
Great. Thank you.
Next project, Norwalk High School. Maybe Jim can go through this a little bit instead of me talking keep talking on this stuff. Jim,
Did you guys get a chance
he
to
wasn't
see?
expecting this.
No, I know. But did you guys get a chance to see the video that I sent to you?
Yes, that.
Okay.
yes, okay.
Yeah, it was good, right?
It's cute,
Yeah, but
yes.
go ahead, Jim. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
no problem.
Yeah.
I will say, going through the pictures, and not being on site in some time, progress really has moved along quite a bit for Norwalk High School. It's a large project, and sometimes you forget how big it is until you start to see it take shape. And that's what we're seeing now, and it's happening pretty quickly. But slab on grade and slab on decks are continuing. Steel erection is continuing. The exterior, what we call cold form metal framing, which forms the exterior walls, is moving along. A lot of the utilities, the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing work is continuing. I like this picture. This is a nice picture of the exterior starting to take shape, and now you get to see what the building is going to look like. We're still on schedule to open the new building in 2027, and then start the demolition of the existing building, and then the creation of the new stadium. I like to refer to it as where the football field is going to be, along with the new stands. I'm excited to see that. That's going to be quite an entrance to the field if you're parking up on top and enter the field from up above looking down on it. I think that's really going to be intimidating to the opposing teams looking down
Yeah.
at them. So I'm really looking forward to having that develop and see how that looks once that's done. But yeah, as you can see here, in the interior walls are starting to take shape. So there was quite a bit of preliminary design and a lot of talk, and now to see it take shape is really exciting to hear about everything that we discussed now coming to fruition. So we're on schedule. So we're happy about that. We have our minor issues here and there, but we don't see anything major at this point.
Okay. Any questions regarding Norwalk High P Tech?
None from me. Anybody else? Nope.
Okay, so maybe we can move on to the next group of project, which is the HVAC projects. So altogether, we have 6 projects. The city submitted to the state request for funding for 6 projects, and we are pleased to be awarded all 6 projects, which is a little bit of surprise, but I guess it's a good surprise. But at the same time, there's a lot of work when we have 6 projects all approved and with the same kind of deadline. Altogether, the project total is about $36 million, and the state reimbursement is 60%. One of the reasons why it's important for us for these projects, typically the state do not reimburse like mechanical replacement improvement project because the state consider those are normal repair and replacement by the local community. But this grant that the state set up, it's allow us to get reimbursement for work that most of the time are not eligible for reimbursement. So the state shares somewhere around $20-something million, and city shares about $15 million. So this chart here, if you actually read it carefully, it's actually a little outdated already because we went out and got bids on it, and the last 2 weeks or so, we've been pretty busy in terms of figure out all the challenges that these bids has. So in fact, I think some of these may not be applicable anymore since last week. So we've been meeting on it constantly. Let me go through some of the project. First of all, let me go through Brookside School. Brookside School, it's a budget about $3 million, and because the uniqueness of the building in terms of the scope of the project, basically we're replacing rooftop units and a simpler project. So whether we got this project out, the first project we got out to bid, and so that we can order the equipment and get it shipped this summer. Half the equipment is coming in, and I believe it's end of June. The other half is probably like last week of August, I think it is. But we're able to expedite the process, and so we should have the mechanical unit delivered and installed by July. Half the equipment. The hardware comes in. We are looking to schedule it, get it prepped, get the equipment prepped and all, and we will do the replacement on either a long weekend or during the weekend. So we pay a little more for it, but that's how it is. It's a little bit of to get the equipment delivered, manufactured and delivered is a very challenging process. But we will be finishing this project before the end of this year, probably in October or so, Jim. We should be able to finish this project. So that would be behind us. There will be
the long weekend install really is just in case we can't get it installed. We're expecting, I think it's 3 units, if I'm not mistaken, Alan, towards the middle of August. And if we don't feel that we have enough time to get it installed prior to the teachers arriving, then we'll wait for a long weekend to do that. But we're hoping that we do get it and we have that window of opportunity to get everything installed before everybody comes back to school.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, the budget for this is about $3.2 million. The project, the currently we are projecting this project to be around $2.5 million. So we have a little bit some money left over, and we need this money to actually help cover another project, which is a Narrowmick School. So I will need to go to the city probably in July, August, to go through a special appropriation process to take this money, the residual of this money from Brookside, to delete around $800,000 of it, and do a special appropriation in order to move the money to Narrowmick to cover the shortfall in Narrowmick. The interesting part is just because we're $800,000, basically only 40% of city money. So we can only move 40% of the money, which is $320,000, to a different account. The other is state money, so we cannot move state money from one account to the other account. So anyway, it's so there's a little bit of strategy, financial strategy behind the scene that we've been working on. I'm not sure we have that much time to go for each one of these projects, but generally speaking, all the other 4 projects, Rowan School is also approved already. So we are generally speaking within budget, and we're replacing the boilers over there. We actually bought the boilers separately so that we can get ahead of the schedule, because we bought the boilers going to be delivered in the end of June, and so we went out. We have a construction manager hired for the other projects, and so we're going to do the boiler replacement this summer and be ready in latest is October 1st is the deadline for boiler replacement work to be completed. Meanwhile, Rowan School would take 2 summers to do. Is that correct, Jim? I'm pretty sure that's it. So we'll do abatement this summer for the most of the building, and then we'll order the equipment and delivery, and anyway, if it sounds a little confused, but I'm just lost track a little bit. Are we doing second shift work here?
Rowayton, possibly, yes. Rowayton really hasn't changed. The only one that has some change to it is Narrowmick. Brian McMahon, based on what we talked about today, is still on track with the way it's spelled out here. And Silvermine is condensed in that we don't anticipate having to work in the summer of 2026. We believe we're going to get it done in the fall of 2025.
Yeah. One thing I want to mention is that when we went to bid on the mechanical on these projects on Brian McMahon, Marvin, Silvermine, and Narrowmick, the bid number came in extremely high. It's probably like 40 to 60, 50% higher than our budget number. So for the last 2 or 3 weeks or so, we went through a whole series of value engineering, scope evaluation, and what the scope changes. We had to re-scope the whole project. We only got 1 bid for 3 of the 4 projects. So what we had to do is, there's a lot of things in there in the original bid package that are stuff that we want to do, but we had to take some of that stuff out and just focus on what we have to do in terms of getting air conditioning into the building. The strategy has been get everything that we need in terms of something we have to do, including, I think, a school got new electrical service, because in order to put a new air conditioning system into the building, we had to upgrade the electrical service. So we'll make sure we get the electrical equipment in, and it takes like two summers to do, generally speaking. So I think that's for Rowan and for Narrowmick.
Narrowmick, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So again, some of these projects are $5 million, $6 million, and the bids come in like $8 or $10 million. So it's substantial. So, but at the same time, for Brian McMahon, I'm jumping around a little bit because unfortunately I'm just all over the place a little bit. For Brian McMahon, what we'll be doing is that, I think you probably remember that Brian McMahon has air conditioning chiller issues last 2-3 years. We have 1 chiller in the building, and it's about 22 years old now. and it has failed a couple of years ago, and then we got temporary. Bill Hodel has put in a temporary portable chiller in to the building to connect to the building so we can support it during the summer months. So as part of this project, we're actually putting 2 brand new chillers, and it does not fit into the boiler room or mechanical room. So we actually put in by the loading dock. So we actually had to create a whole area by the loading dock, and because we have still 2 underground oil tanks in that area, so we got to do underground tank removal on there in order to put these chillers in. That's the fundamental kind of critical element of this project. The other piece is that we are looking to do air conditioning for whatever reason. Back when we renovated the building back in 2003 or 4, we never put in air conditioning for the gym and the auxiliary gym and the weight room and the locker room. On this project, our intent was to do that to the gym and the auxiliary spaces, but with the way the bits came in, we have to drop in terms of scope. We have to reduce the scope just to do the gym, and not do the auxiliary gym and the weight room. Even with this reduction, we are still short about $700,000. So there are other accounts that I'm tapping into that residual fund is available. I'm developing a financial strategy to come up with roughly around $700,000 to make sure we get the 2 chiller replaced, and also bring air conditioning to the gym area. And then we'll hold off on the auxiliary gym and the weight room and the locker rooms for the future for another time. I think that's basically Brian
I
McMahon.
think the only thing that we didn't mention yet, Alan, is Marvin going out to bid again.
Yeah, Marvin is very complicated because of to work on the. I think one of the biggest issue I believe is the media center. Board vet Bill Hodel's office is having a lot of difficulty in terms of balancing the temperature because the way the units are set up. But in order to do this, these new unit in, it requires structural work, and there's environmental remediation that we need to do. And the bits came in so high that we can't, and we do not have the ability to reduce that cost at this point. So what we're looking to do is we bid the whole project in the fall, get the bid number in by late fall. And if we need additional money, what we'll do is I will go through the city process to get additional special appropriations to supplement the budget and award it in the January, February next year. And then we can order the equipment for summer installation. So that's a different strategy on Marvin, because we didn't have a simple way to reduce the scope and manage the budget. Very quickly, Silvermine, we actually ordered the boilers already, and we have to environmental remediation the boiler room, reline the chimney, replace the boilers, and put building management system to control the boilers, and also we are going to put in air conditioning unit in the gym as well. So that project should be finished before the end of the year, the entire project. So that's a reduced scope as well. And I think that's Naramic. Naramic again also came in. The bid number came very high, so we scoped the project. We will continue to use the existing ventilation system. We're not going to replace it, because once we are considering replacing the ventilation system, the problem comes in like the structural work, because there's little to no ceiling space above the ceiling to bring duct work and penetration from the roof to the classroom through. So we're going to use the existing ventilation system. We're going to fully clean it, and also we're going to balance the system, and it's all compliant with code. And also we're doing that, and we'll bring air conditioning to the entire school, and we're going to bring a new electrical system to the building. The only area that we are leaving out for now, it's the air conditioning gym because it's just not enough money to do it at this point. We can look at it, continue to look at it to see whether excess money from the other project later on, we can potentially add it on, we can do it as a separate project later on.
Any
I
questions
think
on
that's
these
about.
updates? Yeah, I think those were all.
Not for me, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you, Alan.
I think that's it for me.
I think that's it. So then let me just give you guys a very brief overview of just a reminder, because we already went through these of
Mhm.
what the summer projects are. So these are the projects that we will be engaging in as the district over the summer. We have the Fox Run abatement, the Roten student lockers finally, the Tracy temporary AC, and those are the window units for Tracy, the Tracy underground storage tanks and boiler conversion, the Brookside removal of the underground storage tank, and the Cranberry solar. So for Fox Run Elementary, I mean, we've done abatements, and we've actually done abatements at Fox Run. So we're basically working with the teachers, getting the areas that need to be abated, packed, and working with Principal Montero to make sure that everything goes as planned. There's going to be new flooring, obviously, that gets installed after the abatement, and will be done well before new teachers report. Fox Run is offline for the summer.
Right.
These are just some photos that Bill put together for us. And so then you could see here the projects that are within the scope.
Okay.
Okay. And we will upload this into our board docs also, and I can share it with the committee.
Great.
So for Roten Middle School lockers, so we are now, all the student lockers will be removed. We're going to be replacing them with the wider lockers that they had requested. We have them, they chose the color for them, and we're going to start immediately after school ends, and we will be completed in July. The one thing that I wanted to bring to our attention is, remember that we had enough capital funding to do 2 schools? So the PONUS lockers are actually more complicated. We'll be able to do them, but the lockers that we had to order, these are freestanding lockers for Roten. The PONUS lockers are in the wall. So because of the fact that they're in the wall, we actually will not be able to get them done this summer because we wouldn't get the supply in enough time to have it done by the time school starts. So we have the money for it. We've ordered the supply, but it's very likely going to take place next summer.
Got it.
That's the PONUS lockers. Okay.
Okay.
And we requested the funding for Nathan Hale lockers, and I believe the capital was approved. So we would hopefully, if everything goes well with those lockers, we'd be doing 2 projects next summer.
Great.
So this is just a sample. These are not the lockers we're replacing because these are good looking lockers.
I was gonna say, really, those are, yeah,
Oh, this is the image of the ones that they chose.
that they're getting.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, those are good looking.
Okay. And so then for Tracy, we've done this again where we're putting the window units. We'll actually have to upgrade some of the electrical work and make sure that they can actually sustain and maintain all of the units that we will have. So the gym is not going to be included. Gym spaces are really, really challenging to air condition. So at some point in the future, we will have to manage all of the spaces at Tracy, including the gym. But for this scope, these are the classrooms, the offices, and the spaces that are utilized regularly. Even though the gym is a gym teacher would argue with me that the gym is also utilized pretty regularly. So we will be done with this project in time for new teachers to come back.
Right.
This is what the padding for the concrete pad for the condenser and the existing electrical. And this is, Bill would do a better job at this than I would, but you get the point.
You're doing great.
Thanks. And so the underground storage fuel tanks, we know that we only have several left for us to remove within the district. And so doing Tracy and Brookside this year will bring us closer to having them all removed. And this project then will actually convert and replace the existing fuel fire boiler, and it'll replace it with a new one. And the lighting upgrade will also be included in the boiler room.
All right.
And this is a rendering that you could look at your leisure of where this will take place. And so for Brookside, it's a lot of the same thing. The underground fuel storage tank is not in use, actually, because we did the conversion for Brookside, I believe 2 years ago. And so then it'll be removed and the supply lines, and we will have temporary fencing that is placed at the work site. The good thing about a lot of these projects is these schools are offline for the summer for summer academies. So it allows the campus to be utilized, but we will still make sure that we mark everything, because we know that even though there is no summer school in session, that the community uses these fields and they go to the school campuses after hours. So we will have temporary fencing where the work is taking place.
Okay, great.
And this tells you the scope of where they're at and the location. And for Cranberry, we're excited to be beginning the rooftop solar panels this summer. It should not interfere with any of the operations of the facility. Cranberry is hosting Summer Academy and a series of other programs. But, it's on the rooftop. We've done this also many times, and we will have it in place and in service by December.
Great.
This just shows you a rendering of the rooftop units. And that's all that we have going on this summer besides our normal summer repairs and but these are the big projects that we had requested capital funding for and that we've been discussing all along. Any questions?
I just love that you said that's all that we have, as if,
No,
No big deal.
I know, seriously.
I was just gonna say, she
Kind of
keeps
an
saying that's all that we
understatement.
have, but that's a busy summer.
It's a
Yeah.
busy summer. The other schools a lot of schools are offline this summer, which made it really challenging because of the air conditioning projects. And then our own projects and it'll be like that for the next 2 or 3 summers, if you can hear in terms of the timeline of the various HVAC projects that we have. But we made it work, so we have no doubt that we can make it work. And, our school principals are really good about making sure that they support us in the work, whether it's with packing or anything that we need in terms of access to the facility. They help prep the facility so that people could get in and get out. And Jim and Alan actually, have been instrumental. Jim goes out and actually meets with the school principals to make sure that they have everything they need in preparation for a lot of these large projects.
Right.
So if you have nothing further from us, I can stop sharing and turn the meeting back to you.
Thank you, Sandra. So I know Ashley had to drop off.
Okay.
So if there's nothing else, I will just ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion, and thank you.